Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very interesting case, extremely controversial, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hit back for this. I'm not here giving advice based on morality or any other principles, human principles. I'm giving advice based on nature and naturality and advice that actually works, can work. Yeah? So sit back and listen to this now. You've never heard anything like this in your life. I guarantee you. Very unlikely. Anyway, this is a letter I'd gotten way back in 2017. It came out of London, and I'd given my advice then. I think it is good to bring it back now just to let people hear what's going on and see what I had done when I was doing this, the advisor on Facebook. Okay, here goes. This is the letter, and this time I'm going to have to read the letter because I don't want to leave out any details. I want to read the letter in the lady's own words, yeah, so you can get the feel of what she has to say and how it is. All right, here goes. Hope I don't leave out anything. All right, here goes. Dear Xavier, my husband and I have been together for the past 6 years, and we have been married for 3. He is 33 and I'm 30. He's a very nice person and I love him very much. We are very open with each other and share excellent communication. For several months now, I have noticed that he will sit on the back terrace by himself and just stare outwards, but not saying anything. There is nothing much to see there, because behind our flat, all that is there to look at is the back of a police station. From our floor, we can see everything going on in their courtyard and car park. I keep wondering what he found so interesting. A few weeks ago, I decided to ask him about it. His response was completely unexpected. He said that he had always had this fantasy of making love to a policewoman. He said that since of late, the urge has become so overwhelming that in relation to sex, he just cannot think of anything else. This causes him to stare out onto their premises to catch glimpses of the police ladies going about their business. I was very shocked to know that he is fantasizing about the policewomen there. Of even greater concern to me is that we actually have 2 female police officers as mutual friends. We met them through work-related activities. We often go out on the town together and sometimes even have barbecues at each other's places. Realizing how deep his fantasy was, I decided to bring it into reality. I went out and bought a very authentic-looking police uniform from a costume shop, complete with shoes, socks, and handcuffs. I dressed in it as a surprise one night, and while the encounter was great as usual, it seemed quite normal to me. I mean, it did not have the heightened level of fireworks I would have expected from the encounter. In fact, the next time I put it on a few days later, he told me that I did not need to wear it again. However, he still stares out into the courtyard as before, and I just cannot understand what else he needs after my having fulfilled his dream encounter. What did I do wrong? My questions are, based on his lukewarm response to my effort at feeding his fantasy, does he really want a policewoman, or is he just making an excuse? And is he actually after something else? Is it that he actually has his eyes on one or both of our police friends? Is it that he no longer finds me sexy? Do you think he might have such encounters with either of these 2 ladies behind my back? How do I deal with this? Advisor, I love my husband and I want my marriage to work. I'm willing to go the extra mile, but what could that extra mile be? I look forward to your advice. And it's signed Evita, she said, not a real name. And she told me exactly in which borough in London she lived. She gave me the exact community, but I will not say it here. So I'll just say London because there are only so many police stations in London, and there can be only so many flats overlooking stations. So somebody might pin them down. So I won't even say where. Anyway, here's my response. No, dear heart, your husband said he wanted to make love to a police woman. He did not say, I want a woman role playing, pretending to be a policewoman. That's a big difference right there. You want a policewoman. So therefore, you could dress up like buy a thief a real police uniform and put it on. That's not what he wants. He wants what he wants, and he knows exactly what he wants. Well, I would not think that it is he would be after your friends per se, because if this is a deep-seated fantasy of his, then I mean he would have been carrying for some time. Yeah, and probably before you met those people. However, truth be told, he might be after them, but if he was, I don't think he would have told you. You know why he wouldn't have told you? He would have secretly made some overture towards them and had gone off behind your back. He would have made his advice secretly. He tells you because he respects you and because he wants his marriage to work. The reason why he tells you is that he knows you're open-minded enough to take the initiative, and just as you took the initiative to go and get the costume, he thinks you will also take further initiatives to also get help him fulfill whatever he wants to fulfill. So I would say he sees you as being able to help him work it out. Now, in terms of your two friends, I'm not thinking that he necessarily wants them. But what you could do is if you could make some effort, he wants you, or he thinks you are capable of joining him to share that fantasy. And if he didn't think you wanted him to share in that fantasy, he would never have told you. As to your question as to whether he will go off with one of these ladies or he would go off with them also, no, he's not going to go off with them. And the reason being, as I said, just as if he wanted to have a secret affair with them, he would do it without you. If he wanted to run off with them, he would also hide that from you. Having an encounter with them would not change his position at all. I doubt that. And even if I'm wrong, and you initiate something and get involved, it will not let him run off with them any more than if you had not been involved. If you say no and you want no part of it and you get involved with one of these two ladies or another policewoman, because he seems hell-bent on that, he will leave if he wants to leave. Whether he fulfill the fantasy or not, a man will leave if he wants to leave. And a man will stay if he wants to stay, whether you fulfill the fantasy or not. So do not see helping him to fulfill that fantasy as a catalyst for some change within your marriage. Chances are he will just get it out of his system from the encounter, and he will just move on, possibly. Another thing came to my mind also is that possibly what he is after is not so much policewoman, but he needs a threesome. Chances are that's what he really needs. Why he tell you that? And he maybe wants you and one of these ladies to have an encounter with him. Yeah, and therefore, that is maybe one of the things. And if you do that for your husband, trust me, he ain't going nowhere. If him can get two for the price of one, him now go run go nowhere. So I mean, you can rule that out. He's more likely to go if he have to fulfill this fantasy elsewhere. Yeah. So I suspect you are broad-minded enough because I see the fact that you went out, as I say, and got that police uniform to try to please him, and you did that in such with such short notice. It tells me that you will that you're gonna actually help him. But I think your main concern would be, would he run off with somebody? And the answer is a flat no. Not because of the encounter, or he won't run because of a lack of the encounter, but he's more likely to leave if you disapprove of that. It would more likely to cause a rift in the relationship, rather, not say leave, but more likely to cause a rift in the marriage. So that is one of the main things to consider. You see, fantasies, especially fantasies to do with sex, it sometimes it occurs on a one-off basis, and once you find that it's a one-off, it just might not happen again. Yeah. So you can't say that, it's something that may be ongoing. And if it's ongoing, who knows? You just might be living your best life. I don't know. I'm saying that. Yeah. But you say he's a very nice guy. You say you love him. You say you'll try to please him. And this man don't, let me tell you something. Yeah. And mark this down. Sex does not keep a relationship together. Sex does not break any relationship apart. If a man loves you, he will stay with you whether you have the eagle eye, yes or no, if he really love you. If a man, you could have the eagle eyes until and the man don't love you, him gone. You understand? So, believe me, that doesn't hold anybody. Just that. It's about personality and the composite individual. Yeah? All right. So I suggest that the first thing you do is go for the force of least resistance. Yeah? And the force of least resistance, in this case, would be your mutual friends. So I would say start there, rather than look all over the place for that person, which may be more difficult. You must know how receptive, based on your relationship you have with them, you might know how receptive they would be to the encounter. And I wouldn't really tell you exactly how to go about doing it, but over dinner, you can bring this topic around to whatever and break the ice. And if you're really that comfortable with them, pull one aside and say it. You don't have to say it in the open to both. You can attack them at separate times and see where it goes. And you don't have to be necessarily explicit, about exactly what you want. Once a person is willing to be in the room with you naked, you take it from there. Because over time, it can develop into what he really wants. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, it can be something that is more innocent, like simply playing spin the bottle or whatever, and take it from there. Yeah? Or ask them to just watch you too and join in if they please. So there's ways of doing about it. You just need a bit of finesse and a bit of class to figure it out based on what they do. So basically, enjoy your marriage, enjoy your life, and do not let anything stop you. You guys are great together, and you will always be together, I suspect. So enjoy your life. Yeah? That's what I have to say on that. Now, guys, call me and cuss me as much as you want. Agree with me if you wish. Give me a like. But I'm here to just give advice, firm advice that will actually be taken, advice that will work. Yeah? So that's it. Oh, and very importantly, the reason why this man is sharing these his fantasy ideas with you is because he wants you to be in charge. He wants you to take charge of it. He wants you to arrange the day, the date, the time, the place, and with whom. Which means that if he didn't want to open up to you and have you share in his dream, his fantasy, his greatest fantasy, he would not have included you. So the fact that he include you and want you to take the initiative, that means you will decide when, how, when, where, and with whom. Yeah. So this is a guy who, and no man has ever walked out at a woman who will give him a menage a trois. Because such women are absolutely hard to find. And he have a woman who will give him a menage a trois. Girl, trust me. Go ahead. You only live once, yeah? And you've got a good man. Take care of him, fulfill his fantasy, enjoy your life. You only live once, okay? All right, so that's what I've got to say on that. Now, you guys, give us a like, comment, of course, make whatever comment you want to make because I want to hear you. If you're going to cuss me out for saying this, cuss me out. If you are comfortable with what I said, let me know. And the rest of YouTube would also like to know what you have to say. So please voice it. You don't have to agree with me, but I would like to hear what you guys have to say. All right? Yeah. So that's my advice. Like, share, and subscribe so you can see my other advices as soon as they come out. This is the advisor saying over and out.